Good morning. I am
Good
Chris Van
morning.
Bloom, and I am here to help you guys get some smoothie action going today. But as you can tell, we have a special guest today. David, good morning.
Good morning, Christine. Good to see you.
I am so happy to see you. Hopefully, someday in the flesh.
Yeah, hopefully. Hope we can move
Hopefully.
towards that. But hey, very good to be here today, and thanks for inviting me. I mean, especially since you're talking about something that is dear to my heart when it comes to smoothies.
Absolutely. Now, David, I know you're a volunteer with AARP Maryland. Tell me what your role is.
Oh, well, I've been a volunteer for probably about the last 3 years, and I currently sit on the executive council with AARP. So I'm involved in various projects, but one of my big ones is I'm a big walking advocate, and
I love that.
I have been involved in fitness most of my life, in sports most of my life, and now in my latter years, I spend a great deal of time walking, even though I still go to the gym quite often, but walking has become an exercise that me and my family enjoy doing.
Yeah, very nice. Well, I tell you, with the weather this past week, I have been walking all the time. I put on like walking workouts and
Hmm.
then trot around the neighborhood. We even had a couple of dogs we've been watching off and on, which I've loved because you have to get out and walk them. And I think my running days are far, far behind me. I think the walking's a much better thing to do. Yes?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Much less stress on your joints, much better for you, especially as you age. And it's still a wonderful, wonderful source of exercise for your cardiovascular and pulmonary
I
benefits.
love that. I
Hmm.
love that. I need everything now. I need everything, but I'm ready for October. Don't tell anyone, but I'm ready for like those light jacket walks. You know what I mean? I'm all
Hey,
in there.
and Walktober, as you know, Maryland official exercise is walking,
I
and
love that.
Walk Maryland Day is I think it's the first Wednesday in the month of October,
Oh,
the 6th, if
fantastic.
I'm not mistaken. I ought to check that to make sure, but absolutely something to participate in this year.
Fantastic. Look at that. I didn't even remember Walktober, but I just like saying it now. So listen, you and I have spoken a couple of times, and one of the things that I found out in talking to you is that you love a smoothie. And I know it seems so silly that we're going to make a smoothie, but there are so many little tips and tricks with doing a smoothie and making it the way you want. But I know this is kind of your jam right here. You're kind of the smoothie king, as I've found out.
Well, certainly enjoy them, got turned on to them a while ago. And certainly in the summer, spring and summertime is when I really enjoy them the most. I mean,
Yeah.
blending flavor and good nutrition together, helps to kind of take some of the relief away from the heat.
Oh, look at you. I
Hey,
love it. I tell you what, I've started now. I don't usually go midday, but I will use a smoothie as a quick breakfast, especially
hey.
as I'm trying to watch what I'm eating. I'm definitely trying to get more fruits and vegetables. And of course, everything is so gorgeous right now. How can
Yes.
you not? So, what we're
Right.
going to do today, I'm going to use some fresh stuff. And it's really funny because am I using like the stuff that's great in Maryland right now? Peaches. I am peach obsessed. But today, I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to go a little different way. I was feeling a little tropical vibe, but
Hmm.
I wanted to kind of show you one that I like. And I know you're a green smoothie guy.
Right. Right.
Yeah. What do you
Right.
usually
Yeah.
use for your green?
Well, my spinach is probably my main leafy green, but I also use kale as well. And I think those are two of the main ones that I use. Kale, you have to be careful with the stalks and everything, but just the leaves themselves usually are very good. And they contain, just a lot of good things for you. So it would be those two.
Tremendous health benefits.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you have to be a little careful with kale, right? If you just
Yeah.
start wantonly chucking kale in, it can get a little bitter. if you're
Yes,
not
it can.
careful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's why I
but
only
a
use the
little bit.
leafy part of it. Yeah, just a little bit, not a whole lot. Spinach, though, will be, I can use a great deal of that.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
totally going to use some spinach today. And I like the baby spinach for a
yes.
smoothie. I
Mhm.
like a little young, tender leaf when I'm
Mhm.
going. So I mean, we'll talk as we go because I know I know you just know all the things. And I'm not using any beets today.
Okay, no
This is,
problem.
yeah. David loves his beets. He loves
I know how
beets.
you are
Ugh.
with beets. Okay, that's
I
fine. No
know.
problem.
Ooh. So I've given a recipe for how to do this, but listen, you can do whatever you like. Really, it's just kind of building blocks. And I'm super lucky because I have this smoothie maker thing, but you can just use a blender. You can't do it by hand. You're never going to make a smoothie by hand, but you kind of have options. You can use frozen fruit. And I was at one of the big box stores last night and I saw gigantic bags of mango chunks and it didn't even register to me that you could buy it frozen. I don't even know who I am. And I was like, if you are really into this, that would be a great way to go because if you use frozen fruit, you don't have to use any ice. So you get a little more intense flavor. But I'll tell you what, David, have you ever gone to Smoothie King?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay, so we have a Smoothie King. I'm here in Frederick, and I'll tell you, when I would go, I'm like tropical. I don't even know what it was. I think it was like 800 calories for like a little. It had coconut milk. It was delicious. But that is not going to give us the health benefits. That was dessert in a cup.
Yes.
So I'm going to start walking through, but then I want you to tell me what your favorite smoothie is as I start building with a little pineapple. Would you use
Oh,
pineapple?
yes, I do. I
Nice.
absolutely do. Pineapple and banana, I will kind of throw it. No,
Okay, so
the
here's the
same
thing
thing.
with the banana. I think that a banana, and this sounds so silly, I know this sounds so silly, but I think a banana gives it texturally more richness because it just kind of does that in the smoothie, right? It's a little thicker when you use a banana. Do you think that?
Yes, and I
Yeah.
noticed you're opening it from the other end.
Yeah. Do
Ah,
you know that trick?
yes, I know that trick, but they say animals,
What?
chimpanzees and that's how they open bananas, and yet most humans do it from the opposite side.
Call me a monkey, baby, because I'll tell you what, one of the things that people do, we always want to pull that stem down. I always squish it, but if you just pinch the end, the bottom of the banana, it comes right off for you, no problem. I can't believe you noticed that, David. I just
Yes,
had
it just happened to
goosebumps.
be. Okay.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. All right. So when I do a smoothie, if I'm not using frozen fruit and I'm going to use fresh fruit, I'm definitely going to use ice. I always put it in last. All right.
Okay.
Always last because I always want the hardest, like the physically hardest ingredient closest to the blade. It seems so silly, I know, but I always like to start it that way. All right. And
Mhm.
then I have for you, friend, I have all of this baby spinach that I'm going to
Okay.
jam in there. Now, baby spinach has a more tender stem, right? Which is
Mhm.
why I like the baby stuff. Because, like you were saying with the kale, those stems are really tough. So I wanted to go with something that had a nice tender stem. All right, now I want to show you a trick. You ready? Do you use fresh mangoes ever?
I have not used mangoes.
Oh,
That
man,
might be something that I want to try. I have not really used them.
I absolutely love mango. I totally do. You can freeze dry it, you can dry it, you can have it pulverized. I don't care. I love it. So let me show you this. I always say that mangoes are a cruel trick on fruit lovers everywhere because it has a gigantic seed. So
Mhm.
you just have to know there's a huge seed that runs in the middle here. You just don't get too twitchy about it. And if you are, you can just buy it already chunked up. You can do that, no problem. You get a half. Now you ready? Let's see if this works today. A lot of people, they don't know if they want to score it and go through, but
Mhm.
you can take a glass. You ready? And if you have a nice ripe mango, you just go right down the glass like this. And it
Right.
pulls your whole half a mango right out of the seed.
Very nice. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm just going to do half a mango in this one because I'm going to eat the other half for lunch, I swear. But I'm not even going to chop it up because it's fresh. Isn't that neat? I love that. I love food. And you, I know you're a honey guy.
Always add a dash of honey, always,
Okay.
as a natural sweetener. And when you're using greens, it kind of helps.
Balance, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally got to balance it. All right, so just for you, I just went and grabbed right before we started. I was like, oh, David, I forgot you love honey. So I just put a little bit to help balance that spinach. Now, I will tell you, I don't like feeling like I'm eating or drinking a ton of vegetables. This is hilarious. My daughter bought herself a celery juice yesterday. It cost $10. And she was like, Mom, it tastes like grass. I'm like, yes, that sounds terrible to me. Why
Right.
would you do that? So no celery in here. But if you are using something that's fibrous, put that on the bottom so that gets in there first and gets chewed up. Now, we're going to use a little bit of liquid here. What kind of liquid do you use?
You know, I would normally water
Oh,
will
okay.
be the primary liquid that I use. You know, after I've stuffed all the, the fruit and the leafy greens in, and I've put in my flaxseed or my maca root or things like that, powder that I've added to it as a supplement. I then will occasionally use crushed ice, a little bit of crushed ice, but
All
then
right.
I'll pour water up to a certain point, and that water becomes the liquid that helps to.
Very cool. Okay. Okay.
Make
Now
everything.
I have a question for you about maca root, but hang on one second because this is an ingredient I've heard of, but I'm unfamiliar with. I'll tell you, I'm going to use today a little bit of unsweetened almond milk. Now you can get almond milk with vanilla and a little sweet. You can do all of those things, but with the spinach, I think the vanilla is going to be bad. So I was like, no, we're just going to get the regular. And have you ever tried oat milk?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so I'll tell you, you have to do, I think oat milk, which is delicious in the right application. I tried to make it once, disaster. Just buy it.
Hmm.
Did like all over my cabinets, all over the floor, absolutely ridiculous. But oat milk, I think, would be really good with bananas and maybe some peanut butter. It kind of has a toasty flavor to it that I like. But I'm just going to use, I don't know, half a cup or so of this almond milk. And you can always add more to it so I don't get too twitchy. And hold, please. I am ready to go with some ice. And I know you do the crushed ice, but I'm just going to load, I don't know. I want to get a little, not frothy, but I want it to be creamy and frosty and all those good things. So tell me what maca root is, because this isn't something I think I've ever had.
Well, it grows in Peru, and it's a good source of carbs, low in fat, and contains really a fair amount of fiber.
Oh, really?
Interestingly enough, yeah, and so vitamin C, copper, iron, things like that, and because I get it in a powder form, it's something that I can easily add to a smoothie.
That was my question, because I have a protein powder that I like because I think protein gives your smoothie a little more staying power,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Because I don't want to be hungry in 10 minutes. I'm always hungry in 10 minutes, no matter what I eat. But I love to use, this is a vegetable-based protein powder that I use with peanut butter and a banana. And this one's chocolate flavored, so it feels a little dessert-like. But the maca powder, do you just get that? Can you get that at like a grocery store, or
Yeah,
where am
well,
I picking that up?
I usually at any of the health food stores or the
Oh,
natural
okay.
food stores. That's where you usually will find it. But
Okay.
it's interesting because there's so many different things that you can do depending on what it is that you're looking for. You know,
Yeah.
what are the kind of benefits that you hope to get, and that just is a great way to put a lot of things together and have it all there in one meal, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of my very favorite sayings is it's a meal, not a mortgage. So if you have one and you're like, this isn't what I love, make the next one a little differently, right?
Yeah, exactly right. And that's the thing about it. You can experiment with different things. But one of the great things to keep in mind that consuming liquid food really helps in digestion because it's so much easier to break down for the
Oh,
body.
okay.
It's just natural, that's not a
Yeah.
hard thing to kind of figure out. And you'll feel it, quicker. It's
That
just one of those,
that makes a
yeah.
lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. Which is why a lot of people are into juicing. That's why they so enjoy juicing because it gets to them quickly and their body responds to it very
Yeah.
well, very well.
Not celery juice, though. Oh,
Hey,
thank
but
you.
there are people that believe in celery juice.
Bless their
Actually,
hearts. Bless their hearts. I'm telling you. Oh, okay. So I'm going to blend this. We're going to take 10 seconds. Now, listen,
okay.
I usually go 30, but I don't want to grind everybody out. So hold your ears and we'll get it rolling. We'll see. It always sounds so rough at the beginning, and I wait for it to smooth out. All right, we're going to check it. Now, this is one of the things people forget, that you can always check it and you can always add a little more liquid or adjust it. Just because you take the lid off doesn't mean it's finished. You could, you are going to love this. This has David written all over it. So, all right. And David, I love what you were saying about all of the different things you can add, because I know you're adding some flaxseed. And the other day when you and I were talking, we were talking about turmeric. Everybody says it differently. Right. And one of the things that you would say, because you use a liquid turmeric and a lot of people use it for inflammation. My orthopedic surgeon had said something to me about I should try turmeric, which I was surprised. And he said, it's really going to help you, but make sure whenever you take turmeric that there is black pepper in it. There's got to be black pepper because the black pepper activates the turmeric. So when you do a golden milk, or if you're making a smoothie, maybe banana and turmeric and some yogurt, great for the protein there, you've got to have some black pepper in there. Not a ton. You don't have to add a teaspoon of black pepper, but otherwise you don't get the health benefits from it. I was fascinated by that.
Yeah, that is amazing. But I've tasted liquid turmeric before that tasted peppery, and I never made that connection.
Yeah.
That was the reason why they had included that.
Yeah. I was, well, now it's the one thing I've learned from a surgeon, right? So check that out. Is that so green and pretty?
Yeah, it's green and pretty.
I gotta tell you, it smells fantastic. Like it really does. Oh, that's so good.
Isn't that smooth? Isn't that good?
Yeah. That's lovely. Listen, I've always been the peanut butter, chocolate powder kind of gal, but I am so grateful that you kind of introduced me to the green smoothies, because I am trying really hard to get bigger health benefits and make smarter decisions in my nacho-less life. So I think this is a great way to go.
Well, I'll tell you, with all the things going on and that all the different activities that people are engaged in, especially when it comes to losing weight, it's one of the great things about smoothies is that the enzymes in fruit kind of helps to dissolve fat. And so it's a good thing to do, if you're active and you're moving and I tell you, I have found it to be very, very beneficial, to myself, and it's something that is part of my my routine now.
Well, I love it. David, you're just a darn delight. So I'm so glad you and I got to do this together. And I hope everybody, I'm sorry, I can't see the comments. So if everybody, I'll go back and take a look at the video then. If you have questions, put them in and I'll go ahead and answer those for you. The thing is, just give something a try, right? Meal, not a mortgage. Give something a try. I'll tell you, I'm always afraid anything green is going to taste like grass. There's so much good stuff in here. It really just tastes delicious. So I hope you'll give it a go. Love it. David, hopefully I'll see you in Walktober.
I hope so. I look forward to that. And thank you so much, Chris. This was really good, and I'm so glad that we this was the topic of our discussion this morning, because I think it's something that a lot of people can participate in, and if they're not already, but we want to encourage them to absolutely enjoy smoothies in the summertime.
100%. And if you have a favorite smoothie that you're doing now, put it in the comments and we'll go back and take a look. I am trying to learn everything. So share with me what you're doing. And until next time, David, thank you so much. So appreciate you taking your time to do this.
Oh, my pleasure. Enjoyed it very much.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Take care.
See ya. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.